Hello, beloveds. This is Stephanie Parasha, Divine Light, coming out to you from New Zealand, Aotearoa, and it is the 18th of February 2019. It is a couple of days before the Virgo massive big super full moon that's coming at the moment, and it's been a couple of weeks since my last update, so I thought it was time to bring through an update. And as I do these updates, where I'm coming from is really a place of being a twin flame myself and really just wanting to share with you how it feels to be on this journey. I'm not necessarily standing up here saying that I'm perfect and I know everything and this is the way to do it. And whilst sometimes I might have some advice, it would be the advice that comes from a place that has helped me on my journey. I definitely don't profess to be an expert or to know anything. In terms of my own twin flame journey, I can only speak about the place that I've reached on my journey with my twin flame. And that is basically that we are friends. We are in contact. We've never really not been in contact or had what people talk about as the separation phase. Often we'll have times where we might not talk for a wee while, or we'll have a bit of distance from each other for whatever reason. But all the way through since we first met, we've maintained a really strong, close friendship. And whilst for me, it appears from my side of things that it's definitely more than friendship. And the reason I know that is from all of the ridiculous, crazy signs and synchronicities and the messages that I receive from my intuition, and just a knowing that I have about our relationship and what it means. From his side, he is awakening and learning and growing, and we have a very close relationship where we talk about a lot of things. We're okay with our relationship the way it is right now. Maybe one day down the track when things feel like they're more aligned for us, or when the timing is right, however people want to say it, it could align for us that we do take our relationship to a level where it is more physical and more of a partnership. But as we know on this journey, one of the things that I feel as a twin flame, and I think this is what it's about too, is that we don't all fit into one relationship box. You can't fit any of us into these templates of what relationships are supposed to be. In fact, we've come to break a lot of those things down. So, and I think at many stages along this journey, the twin flame community has to be really careful not to overlay some of those concepts of romance and the need to be in this physical union as being the one and only goal to this journey. It can really sometimes affect the process. And so I just talk generally about what goes on for me, and I do have an ability, and I always have from a very young age, to tune into energies, to tune into emotional energies. I have a background in healing and counselling and social work and psychology, so I put all of that together and use my psychic abilities also, and bring it just all together to kind of give a generalized feeling of what I tune into and what we're working on as a group and as a collective. And I know because of what people will comment on and the emails that I get, that a large number of people find these videos and the information helpful and supportive. And while my videos continue to do that for people, I'll continue to share, basically. So some of the themes that are going on at the moment are it's a theme that has run through right from the word go with twin flames, and that is about balancing the polarities. So at the moment we're seeing a lot of polarized behaviors. So that plays out with, extreme, we could say the dark and the light, the extreme male and female polarities, the power and control on one side, the victim on the other. We've got spiritual on one side and religious on the other. We've got young and old, positive and negative, magical and mundane. We've got obsessed people, we've got avoidant people, we've got runners and we've got chasers. So, we've got all these various polarities that we're experiencing, excuse me, not only in ourselves, within ourselves, but also in each other, in the relationships we're having, not just with our twin flames, but with other people that we meet on this journey as well. So I'm definitely seeing that throughout this polarity, wherever you may feel yourself experiencing a polarity, that you recognize where you're at in that spectrum, and try to shift yourself more into the middle, so that you're no longer one or the other, or where you might have been operating out of a polarity, maybe it's time to go to the other extreme in order to balance it out. And I was talking to another twin flame friend of mine, and we could see this with how we both relate to our twin flames and how they related to each other. And she realized that her twin flame wasn't able to say the words or speak the words of love, even though he felt them. He would sort of show it in other ways, and she had to sort of pick up the cues in terms of how he was showing her how much he loved her. And she was very much into telling him how much she loved him, but the sort of suggestion was that perhaps she needed to show him more how much she loved him by her actions, and not in the actions that we'd expect one to show someone that they love you, but to show him more respect in terms of the space that he was asking for, and just showing him love by respecting him and his wishes. And I tried to identify that within my own union, and I thought, that's interesting, because I think we both, funnily enough, do the same thing, where we both show each other very much how we care about each other. We do a lot of physical things for each other, and yet neither of us are able to actually speak the words very clearly. And I'm definitely trying to work on my communication. As you can even hear in my voice, has gone a little bit funny. I feel like it's something that I'm really still working on to overcome, and of course, always the fear to speak out loud and say, I really, really love you, and I want to be with you for the rest of my life, and you're the only one. As we know, puts ourselves at a huge risk of facing that rejection, and even just saying that and putting that out there, is a huge step to take. And I know that many of us struggle with that. And again, what I try to do with these videos is try to kind of normalize what some of the things that we're going through as twin flames, some of the difficulties we face, also some of the information that I hear that I often find doesn't really help me, and just to kind of let people know, just not to buy into some of the material that's out there that makes you feel bad. If you listen to anything that makes you feel bad, that's not going to be helpful. So just really bear that in mind. Information where you feel judged, where you feel like you're not doing what you're meant to do as a twin flame, or doing, you're at a certain level where you should be. Wherever you are at on your path is where you're at, and whatever information is resonating for you, whatever is helpful for you at the time, is what it is. And, if it's helpful and it makes you feel good, then it's what you need. If it makes you come away and you just feel like, I'm not doing it right, or I'm not there yet, or I shouldn't be doing this, or I shouldn't be doing that, it's probably not necessarily helpful. However, it can also mean that if we're not challenging ourselves a little bit, that we're not growing either. So of course, challenging ourselves and our beliefs, why are we getting, identifying in ourselves, why am I getting a little bit stuck there, and what do I need to do to shift that energy? What do I need to do to get myself out of these certain patterns or ways of thinking that I know come from my childhood, that I know come from my trauma, but I can't seem to shift out of? How do I do that? And sometimes hearing the truth can make us feel bad. So I'm not saying, avoid. There's a difference between coming away and feeling that you're not doing it right or you're not good enough, to actually going, that is kind of honest, and I probably do need to listen to that, and I probably do need to do that. That's kind of a different thing. So, yeah, working out the difference on that, and to talk a little bit about kind of my journey as well, where I'm up to at the moment is, with my twin and I, the main thing for us is that we always maintain contact. Like I said, we always in contact. We kind of know where each other are at. We regularly text each other, not, obsessively. Sometimes we can go for a week or two without talking to each other, and that's not a big deal. But anything longer than that, we're usually checking in. Recently, it was a very special day for my twin and I. We were able to connect with each other, to celebrate something that was very special to both of us. We managed to spend time together, talking a lot, sharing a lot, and just really being in each other's presence and feeling what that felt like, and really enjoying that time, and it was just so beautiful. But of course, all good things come to an end, and I had to leave and go back to where I normally live and back to my life, and had to leave him there, and he was off to his other things. And in the meantime, I sort of go away thinking, are we getting closer? And for my journey, I really feel like my twin and I are like little pieces of Lego blocks. We just slowly, very slowly, each time we see each other, put maybe one or two more Lego blocks on our structure that we're building together to build our foundation. And, it's just little things that, we're a little bit more open with our communication. We talk more about intimate subjects of what we feel like, in intimacy. We're getting more comfortable being around each other in our physical bodies, because it's summertime here, and we going, to the river and swimming and needing to strip off and to get changed and things like that. We're not shy to be around each other and just getting used to it. And, that's taken us, it's nearly, this is our 3.5 years since we met each other, to just get comfortable to be around each other, not to be so jittery and, jumpy and energetically pingy, because we would just ping off each other. We could only spend short amounts of time with each other because it was so intense. The energy, it was scary and crazy, and the synchronicities were bouncing off the walls, and it was sometimes too much. I felt like I couldn't breathe, or I was going insane, and it was just so crazy. I didn't know what to do with it, but I knew that was the time where it was just all kicking off to make you realize you are a twin flame. Otherwise, how else are you going to know, unless there's just crazy stuff going on, right? And so now things are just a lot calmer when we're together. I definitely get the synchronicities. So what I noticed was this week I've been away again from him, and just sort of processing the time we spent together and questioning what it meant, and wondering how our connection is going in terms of the twin flame. And then yesterday, and I did, as always, when I'm a little bit sort of confused, I guess, as to where it's going next and what's the next step and what I have to do, what I need to focus on. And there, as I went on my walk from my house, I walked out, and there, lying just in the sort of gutter area, we call it a gutter over here, I don't really know what they call it in other English-speaking countries, but the part, where the grass meets the road, and there was just this massive feather, not just a small little baby feather, but huge, like I would say at least 20 centimetres long, and it was a perfect mix of white and black. So one side of the feather was white and the other side was black, and it was kind of merged into each other at the top. And I was like, right, okay. So, it's things like that where I just double take and I go, okay, what is this feather doing right outside my house? It could be anywhere on this whole street of about 30 houses. But here it is, right outside my house, not just any old feather, not something small, massive, and that fact that it was half dark and half white, which always to me represents the yin and the yang, which, as we know, for me especially, and probably for you too, as a twin flame, you'll be getting that as a sign as well coming up on your journey. And also again representing the middle way. So we've got, either side is a polarity, but where they meet in the middle, that perfect blend is where we meet ourselves in the middle, where we meet the shadow side of ourself that we, could never meet, that other side of ourself that we created to try and balance out the shadow, or our wounded parts of ourselves, that at some point they finally meet in the middle and get to know each other and become balance. When we meet in the middle, we become balance. So, that's really the message that I've been getting. And when I looked at this moon again, I thought, wow, what's happening with this moon? Isn't it huge in the sky right now? And I noticed that it was a Virgo full moon, and I am a Virgo. My sign is Virgo. And I noticed there was some more information about this being a super moon, and that we've just also 2 weeks ago passed through an Aquarius New Moon. And my twin and I, he's an Aquarius and I'm a Virgo. So I thought that, again, represented to me what's really going on at the moment with the energies. And so, we might feel a little bit buffeted from side to side. And if we are feeling really, triggered at the moment by various things that are coming up, let them come up. The best thing we can do is go, okay, I'm feeling something's brewing. Keep a little eye on it. It might take a wee while to kind of work its way up and through. And, rest assured, over these next few days, things are going to be working their way through. And we've got to trust that this isn't just, when people think, oh no, I thought I dealt with that and I've healed all that and here it comes again. Just let it come. The worst thing we can do is judge ourselves again for not being up to scratch or being perfect yet or amazing. Oh, we're still working on stuff. Well, so what? So we're working on stuff. We've had a lot to clear. We've had a lot to work through. We've had a lot to heal. There's just been so many energies within us and around us and through us and, everywhere that we're trying to really process. And so the more we're allowing of the energy to work its way through our body and to trust that process, the natural process of evolution that just always has a way of working its way through. It'll always settle. It'll settle itself, So the more we can surrender and let that happen, the easier it is, really. So, yeah. So, I didn't want this to be a long video because I know, listening to people rabbiting on can be frustrating. But I just wanted to kind of highlight those few things that are going on, just to watch out for the moons, just to go easy on yourself on this twin flame journey in terms of the information you're hearing and listening to. Just go easy on you, and trust yourself, and allow yourself to be wherever you're at on your journey, and that be fine and that be okay. Not push yourself too hard to be anything other than who you are right now, which is okay, Trust yourself to know what to do in your union, to know where you're at personally, when nobody's measuring anyone against anyone else to say that it's a competition. Everybody's got their own stuff that they're working on. Each dynamic has their own theme within their union of things that they're working on, things that they've come in to heal and clear. We've got a lot to heal and clear. It's huge work, and I think people really put a high expectation on themselves as twin flames to expect themselves to be in this amazing union, where you're having this amazing romance, and people are really beating themselves up when it's not happening, and having an expectation around that. And whilst it would be amazing and it would be great, it'll happen when it's meant to happen, and that's okay too, to trust that. So I think that's all I kind of really felt to say at this point. I think I'm going to leave it there. So I wish you all a beautiful super moon, and use this time to, I guess, if you can, find something that you feel as if you really want to shift, that's been bugging you for a while, some pattern or some energy within inside of yourself that's been causing you pain or suffering that you would like to work through and let go of. And think of something that you would like to achieve or to attain or to be in terms of your life, and maybe with your twin flame, or just maybe in your life in general, and visualize that, and just know and trust that with your intention that things are working their way to the way that you would love them to be, and trust in that too. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much, and thanks for listening. Sending you guys all out a big hug and heaps of love. Okay, bye for now.